part, so you got 2 fingers away from your nose, and you got the whole Ah, there we go. Here he is. They're like, oh, hello. That would be so
How are you doing today?
good.
Alright. Welcome to the African Penguin Feeding. My name's Ian. Again, over behind that table, that's Stephanie there. She's waving at you. I'm going to be doing the feeding. While I'm feeding, she's actually going to be doing the talking. The reason we split it in half like that, where she talks and I feed, is so I can focus on how much the birds are eating, as well as their physical condition, and make sure they're healthy. So anyway, she'll be covering some good information for you, and then afterwards, if you have any questions, be sure to save those for me. I'll be happy to answer them after the feeding. So I'll go ahead and get started and turn it right over to Stephanie to start to bite my knees there.
Okay, so while Andrew's feeding these guys, I'll tell you a little bit more about them. First of all, here at the zoo, we do feed them fish. We give them several different kinds. We give them herring, capelin, mackerel, sometimes mountain anchovies. We give them a variety of different kinds because we don't want them to develop a food preference for one kind. All the different kinds of fish have different fat content to them and a different nutritional value, so we want them to have as balanced of a diet as possible for our families to give them that education of fish. So we also put vitamins and sometimes medications right inside their fish, and then they follow their fish whole, so they don't even know that there's anything in their fish and they eat it. We also feed them by hand, just like Andrew's doing now, so that every penguin has to come right up to him to get something to eat. That way he can get a really good look at their eyes, their nares, the inside of their mouth, their feet, their wings, and make sure everyone gets their vitamin fish in the morning. You can tell this process works pretty well because in the wild these guys live to be about 20, 25 years old. The oldest penguin we've ever had here at the zoo lives to be 36. Right now our oldest penguin is 27. His name is Puffer, and he has an orange band on his right wing, and he has a pretty big, thick beak. So there's also something that's kind of shiny, like the fish these guys eat, and sometimes they get a hold of it inside their pool, and if they eat it, it can make them really sick. Can anyone guess what that could be?
Coins.
Money, coins, right. So sometimes people think our pool is a wishing well, and they throw coins into our pool, and then the penguins accidentally eat it. So there's a really good graphic over here that has 2 pennies on it with really big holes in them that you should check out after the feeding. And the reason the coins have those holes is because the penguin that ate them started to digest them. Coins have zinc in them, and this can cause zinc blood poisoning in our penguins to make them pretty sick. So if they start to act a little bit sick, we'll actually take a metal detector to their belly, like the ones you see the security people at the airport using, and we'll go over their stomach to see if there's any metal inside of them. Then if they continue to act sick, we might have to put them under anesthesia and do x-rays, possibly put a scope, which is a long tube with a camera on it, down their throat into their stomach to pull those coins back out through their mouth. So as you can imagine, it's a little bit hard on these guys. We'll have to go through that. So we just ask that you please do not ever throw anything into an animal exhibit because you don't know if the animals are allowed to have those items. Only the keepers that take care of them know that. So we appreciate your help with that. So on a happier note, all of our penguins here at the Zungler Zoo are part of what's called the Species Survival Plan, or SSP. It's kind of like a computerized dating service for penguins. So if we have an unpaired penguin, we put them into the program, and they tell us what other penguins we can pair them with so that we have the best genetic variability possible out of our captive population of penguins. So the reason we do this is so that we don't have to take any more penguins out of the wild to help with our genetic variation, and we can actually ship them between zoos so that we can switch up the pairs that way. We ship them on an airplane like you would your dog or your cat, switch up the pairs. They are monogamous in the wild. They stay with the same partner their whole lives. But here at the zoo, we do switch it up a little bit so that we get that genetic variability. You can tell who the pairs are based on the bands that are on their wings. So if you see 2 adults, they're the ones with the white bands on their heads with the same color bands. That means they're a mated pair based on that species survival plan. If they have a band on their left wing, that means they're a female. If they have a band on their right wing, that means they're a male. If you look at the juveniles, the ones without the white on their head, we don't know if they're males or females yet. We actually have to send in a blood sample for someone to look under a microscope and tell us if they're boys or girls. Then once we find that out, we band them accordingly. answer any questions you might have. Don't forget to check out the table and penguin stuff. Thank you for coming today. Every time you visit, you help animals. Thank you very much.